That was horror.
Beep, 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 beep.
Is that King of the Road?
Beep, beep,
played by an ice cream truck? Oh, that was horrible.
I'm
Isaac.
Isaac.
And I'm Derek.
Why do we keep doing that?
I don't know. You start this bit. I'm not part of this.
All right, so I have to pose something. Oh wait, hold on. I do this every time now. I'm Derek, and this is my good friend Isaac.
Hello, and I'm Isaac. This is what we do every time?
And I'm your good friend Derek.
And this is my good friend Derek.
Thank you.
Okay, now?
Okay. Anyway, this is our podcast, and we call it That Was Horrorble.
Yeah, we watch the bad horror movies, so you don't have to.
We bad watch horror movies, so you don't have to. Where was I going? Oh, yeah. So, you know what would be the craziest thing?
What would be the craziest thing?
What if we were sitting here in front of our Yeti microphone?
We are currently doing that.
Not sponsored. And what if, in like 3 seconds, the microphone came to life and killed us?
I don't think that. There's no way.
But you're holding a laptop.
Yeah.
And I'm holding a computer
in your hands.
And what if both of those came to life and killed us? Okay, tell me how the microphone would kill you.
How the microphone would kill me?
Yeah.
It would probably just jump right into my mouth and I would choke on it. So you'd find my dead body chilling here with it just like in my mouth, and I'm just like dead-eyed, head laying on the table.
Cool.
Does that sound good? What about you?
Yeah. If the microphone?
Yeah. No, the headphones, actually.
Well, the headphones are obvious.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it would crank up the volume really loud and blow out my eardrums.
Yeah.
All I would hear is your voice.
Yeah, just dead Derek.
Okay, but how would my computer kill you? Big old Apple computer from like 1932.
Big old Apple computer. I feel like it would shock me through the keyboard.
Oh,
I'd be typing
creative.
on it, and then it would. Yeah, we'd have that cool 80s lightning effect where they draw it on by hand afterwards.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, something like that. What's got you on this tangent?
Well, we have to finish it because you got 2 and I only got 1 because
well,
I got 1 more.
Yeah.
You have a laptop in your
I
lap.
have a laptop on my lap.
I think what your laptop would do is start talking like a puppet. So it would go, pop, pop.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'd get scared, and then it would pinch your fingers, and pull your fingers in. It would rip your arms off, and your
munch
head.
me up
and
like that.
yum, yum,
That's
yum,
pretty
yum.
good. That's pretty creative. We should make a movie based on that, where all machines turn on people, right?
What if I told you that Stephen King already did a whole bunch of cocaine and made a movie about that?
What?
What if I told you that movie came out in 1986 and is called Maximum Overdrive?
Maximum Overdrive. That's right, folks. That is what we watched this week. A wonderful, wonderfully wild flick, I can say, I guess, right at the beginning here.
Now, on a scale of 1 to 14...
That's a weird scale.
It's a great scale.
It's a weirdly specific scale, kind of like something we'll talk about in a second.
I don't actually think I get that.
Oh.
Do I get that?
That's fine. We'll talk about it later, I guess.
No, okay, wait, what was I saying? I do this all the time. No, on a scale of 1 to 14...
Okay, yes, you're crazy.
How weird was Maximum Overdrive? Without giving anything about the movie away.
14 and a half and 3 nanoseconds.
That's a lot of nanoseconds. Arguably too many. All right, so yeah, this week we watched Maximum Overdrive from 1986, and here's the craziest thing in the world. It was written and directed by Stephen King himself.
The only one of his stories that has been brought to screen directed by himself.
Yep. I was freaking out about this when I figured it out because I just lost my mind.
He was very excited about that, and I was not at the time.
Why? Why weren't you excited? I need you to...
I just didn't know exactly what it meant to you that it wasn't meaning to me.
Do you know now?
I mean, I guess a little bit in a sense, but we've talked a lot about how writing and directing your own movie does not always go so well.
But the fact that it's one of the most prolific writers of all time, he's written he has 326 writing credits on IMDb.
Wild.
Just think about that for a second, right? 326. Mark Hamill, for comparison, has some.
What? What does Mark Hamill have to do with any of what we're doing right now?
I have to look.
Oh my lord.
How many writing credits does Mark Hamill have?
Any?
Oh, wait, hold on.
He's an actor.
Yeah, and he also has 354 acting credits, so I don't feel like anything I just said is even valid in any way. But he's got 2 directing credits.
Directing credits?
Yeah, he directed Lego Star Wars Revenge of the Brick.
You're joking, right?
Oh, he was a sequence director.
That's incredible.
That is incredible.
That's hilarious to me.
Not sponsored by Mark Hamill. Unless... Marky? You there?
Marky Mark?
Loved your work in Seinfeld? That's what he's from, right?
Yeah, that's what he's known for. Known Seinfeld actor Mark Hamill.
Anyway, it's just crazy to me that Stephen King, he's written so many stories over the years, and everybody wants a piece of Stephen King in some way.
Yeah, you're right. I dream about it.
It's so weird because he's just...
Him in that little mouth and those beady little eyes.
He's so weird looking. This movie, we'll get into it, but opens up with a shot of him, and it was the only jump scare in this movie that got me.
You think he ever wanted to be an actor, and that's why he keeps putting himself in these things? That has to be the case.
I'll tell you what he didn't want to be, and that's a director.
Yeah.
Which is why he only has 1 directing credit.
That makes sense. I guess you could say he went one direction.
Was that a One Direction? Now, you did that with some styles. Wait, can I say my joke again? You did that with...
Okay. Sorry, now I'm done. I'm done. It's over.
I'm gonna get close to the mic. I said he did that with some styles.
He pushed me away from the microphone to do that. He held me back away from it.
It was a dumb joke. Did you get it? Because Harry Styles?
I get it, yeah. So tell me about this movie.
Wait, no, I had more to say about Stephen King.
You have more to say about Stephen King?
Yes.
What else is there to say?
I don't know. Maybe something about the 350 movie credits he has.
What else you got?
Oh, man, 350? There are currently 24 movies in production based on things that Stephen King had written.
Anything cool?
Yeah, you got they're making a Salem's Lot remake.
Oh, I actually did hear about that. It seems interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, The Monkey. That's great.
Yeah.
There are 2 Death Room movies in production.
Interesting.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Tommy Knockers. Sera Mata.
Uh-huh.
What is that one?
Do
you know what that one is?
Good. No, I got nothing for you.
Yeah, apparently the internet doesn't either.
That's nothing.
Oh, wait, it's just in a different language, Isaac. Stop.
No, maybe it's backwards.
Wait, no. No, maybe
search. It's Atom Ades. I got nothing.
It probably means something. Do you have any kooky characters who translate things?
Kooky characters translating characters? I don't think that could go well at it.
That's actually...
There's no way that could be a good idea.
I mean, it could just be like a guy who's like, hey, I Googled this on England.
So are you not talking about Stephen King?
No.
We're going to talk about him for a long time, I promise.
I mean, we probably could, because I'm a huge fan of Stephen King.
Yeah, I know how much you loved Children of the Corn 2023.
Okay. Emily and Isaac brought this up to me because I was ranting. I was like, guys, we have to watch this movie because I love Stephen King. I love Stephen King adaptations. They're both looking at me like, wasn't Children of the Corn your favorite movie ever?
I think you have your ranking of all of our That Was Horrible movies, and that's still at the bottom.
Okay, no, because spoilers, that one movie that ruined Winnie the Pooh is lower than that now.
Ooh, because did you hear they're making a sequel and it's going to start filming in the fall?
I'm scared.
And we're going to watch it. I bet.
I'm more scared of that getting a sequel than I am of going to bed in the middle of the woods. So take that as you will. Okay. Stephen King wrote a short story called Trucks.
How scary.
He wrote a short story called Trucks, and he was on a lot of cocaine. And then which is actually
King? Yeah,
that is very true.
That is true. It is kind of sad, I guess.
It is really sad. Yeah, he actually had a huge drug problem and went into rehab in 87.
Yeah,
which was a year after this movie.
Yeah, so we're talking like this movie made like in the height of just like how bad it was, right?
Yeah, which is actually what the synopsis of In the Heights is. It's based on this, the musical by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So this was my friend Lauren recommended this one to us. Thank you, Lauren. Really though, thank you. Great movie. I think I've said that about every recommendation. Really though, thank you.
It's a pleasure, honestly.
Our sources for the info. I'm all over the place, but it's got to get in there somewhere. Sources for the info.
So was this movie.
Oh, that's true. So let's talk about something else. So how about Stephen King?
So our sources for this movie
is IMDb, Box Office Mojo, Wikipedia, Rotten Tomatoes, Death Count Fandom, and Where's the Jump. How about you? You got any extra sources?
No, sir. That's all on me.
Google Images?
Not even Google Images.
All right. Fun fact, this movie was nominated for 4 things.
Have you been hanging out with Count Trivia?
Maybe a little bit behind your back.
You telling me secrets without me?
No, it's okay.
Hey! No, don't you ruin that. Come back here.
Blah, blah.
No, what? That's not... You can't have your own, sir.
Trivia.
This is nothing. Where have you found your facts and fibs and lies, sir?
The trash can. So this movie was nominated for 4 things. It was nominated for Best Film, which is
just ever.
It just says it just says Best Film at the
International Fantasy. Interesting.
International Fantasy Film Award at Fantasporto in 1988.
That is not a real word.
I mean, it might be.
Fantasporto?
It's kind of rude.
What on earth is that?
Someone made that name and put it on IMDb.
It's a Porto International Film Festival, I guess.
Isaac?
The more you know.
Whoa, that was a cool poster.
It was kind of cool.
It just was nominated, though, because, like, they watched this movie, it was like, almost.
It didn't
Maybe
win?
just, like, less.
That's unfortunate.
It also was nominated for 2 Razzies. Now, without looking, because you're a big cheater boy, guess what the 2 Razzies were for?
I'm going to guess Best Director.
You got 2 to guess.
Best Director, and it's got to be someone with Emilio Estevez, right?
You saw it, didn't you? Because you're exactly right. It was Worst Actor for Emilio Estevez and Worst Director for Stephen King.
Well, listen, they were so easy because they were the only 2 like of note in this entire movie.
That's true. Because Emilio Estevez is the main character. Well, is there a main character in this movie?
If there is a main character, it has to be him.
But why?
Because they keep calling him Hero for some reason.
But I genuinely don't remember him in the movie at all. All I remember is Truck. Okay, and then the 4th thing that this is nominated for was in 2019, it was nominated with the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films USA for Best DVD Blu-ray Classic Film Release.
Wow, this is quite a niche market for that.
I have something to say.
Yeah, what's your thing?
They will give you an award for anything nowadays.
Anything these days.
They're like, how many awards can we fit into one
Best
thing?
DVD Blu-ray release.
Release. Oh, wait. Did you see? 2 movies were released this movie that were classic films. One of them was Maximum Overdrive.
Mom, it's me. Yeah, that's right. I won an award.
You see that Stephen King gets a call and he's like, hey, did you know that your film got nominated? My film, I have 350 of them. Yeah, Maximum Overdrive. What's that?
Who's that?
Who's
I don't remember this guy. Never heard of her.
So that was that. So Stephen King, he's done some things. Yep. He's done some stuff.
Oh, now you don't want to talk about Stephen King.
Well, because, okay, here's the problem with talking about what Stephen King has done, right? There isn't a good way to see what movies he's written for, right?
Yeah, that's
true. Because most of the time people have taken his stories, credit him as a writer, but it's just like
so they're like based on his stories. It's not like he was like a writer for the screen, right?
Yeah.
Because whereas they even said this in like the opening credits for Maximum Overdrive, it's like written for the screen by Stephen King.
Yes. It is very, very much his movie, his passion project. So yeah, our first sign that this movie was going to be bad was 1, it was recommended for our podcast, but then 2, it was written and directed by the same guy. It just happened to be like one of the most, known writers of all time. He's like J.R. Tolkien. Is that his name?
Yes.
Jimmy R. Tolkien.
Don't ask me that. Your wife's going to be mad.
Oh my gosh, she's probably mad right now. Hold on. J.R.
It is J.R.R. Tolkien, yes.
It's like
Jolkin, Rolkin, Tolkien.
Why did I just compare Tolkien and Stephen Sondheim?
I think you know 2 writers.
I am all over the place. So the Rotten Tomatoes score for this film was 15% for the critics, and then audience was 50%.
Audience at 50?
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty wild.
Do you know what that means?
What
that means 50% of the people who rated it liked it.
That's crazy. That can't. Numerically, that doesn't make sense.
No, numbers-wise, that doesn't make sense. Letterboxd, it's sitting at a 2.6. Metacritic, it has a 24. IMDb, 5.4. This movie had a budget of $9 million.
Wow.
And it grossed 7.4.
Oh, the poor guys.
I know.
Poor fellas.
Too bad. This movie was entirely scored by the band AC/DC.
Yeah, which apparently was done at the request of Stephen King.
Yes.
Like he asked them to do this.
Who whoever allowed that decision to be made, made that decision and had to live with it for the rest of their life.
That's just astounding to me, honestly.
Yeah, so I think that's it. That's it for the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. We've been Isaac and Derek.
So Derek's done with the podcast. I'll go ahead and start reading some reviews for it. This one, just right out here, is a seemingly positive review, actually, from Steve Crum from VideoReviewMaster.com.
Classic.
Says, truck stop attacked by mechanical objects, including trucks gone awry, based on Stephen King's story. That's not a review.
Did you read that before you read it out loud?
Yes, because I thought it was funny.
This one is interesting, and I kind of want to look into this more. It says, Alex Sandell from Juicy Cerebellum says, maximum crap. It sort of revived AC/DC, if that matters.
I don't understand. I don't know enough about the history of AC/DC to understand that. I thought AC/DC really was brought out by Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
I thought that they were really brought out when they were Back in Black.
And then Ken Hank from Mountain Express says, this is why other people usually direct King's writing.
And then Shannon J. Harvey of the Sunday Times Australia says, a suitably schlocky Stephen King story.
Sorry, a suitably what?
A schlocky.
Schlocky.
What does that word mean?
Suitably schlocky.
Here,
hold on. No, right now, give me your best guess on what schlocky means.
It's like goofy, but also kind of shocking.
I'm just gonna say just like pieced together, very messy. Schlocky.
Okay. All right, Edmund the dictionary boy.
Let's go, Edmund.
Yes, it means adjective, schlocky. Also schlocky. Cheap, trashy. A schlock store. Noun, something of cheap, of or inferior quality. Junk.
Oh my gosh. Schlocky. So cheap, trashy.
Edmund, is schlocky Yiddish? Well, the North American schlock comes from the Yiddish word schlack, or a stroke, or junk.
So schlack, stroke, and junk equals schlocky.
Who
uses this word?
The more we say schlock, makes me kind of want to not say words ever again.
Yeah, it makes me want to unalive. Schlocky. Schlocky.
Schlock.
So let's talk about our expectations, shall we?
Did you just do a little bit of a expect? All right, what were the words that you wrote for tations?
Tations, there it is. Gosh, whew. I can breathe.
That was actually really hard to do.
Had me holding up there, okay. I honestly wrote very first, I'm like, it's probably going to be up in my top 5 of our That Was Horrible movies.
Wow.
Honestly, it's going to be up there. Because we did watch the trailer before this one, just to see what we were getting ourselves into.
I had no idea what it was.
Boy, howdy, this looked like it was going to be a time. It looks just like action-packed from the trailer, so I was very intrigued right away. I thought there was going to be some wild action. I did say not enough kills. And that was something I didn't see a lot of in the trailer. I just saw a lot of trucks driving around and stuff. So yeah, not enough kills. And then I just wrote an insane plot that won't make a ton of sense, but will be very entertaining. That was my expectation. So how about you?
My first expectation was cool story. I don't know why, but I kind of thought that the story would be cool. I don't know why.
That's the weird thing about like making expectations for random movies every week is like, what can we just randomly say about something based on very few things?
Yeah, which is why I think it's important we watch the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. So we can have something to expectate. That's what I was about to say.
Expectate. Is that a real word? Hey, Edmund, is expectate a real word?
Edmund's back in the room, everybody. Yep, that's how you spell that.
How do you spell
XPEC, yep. Nope, that is some media brand now.
I don't think that's how you
tell me about your expectations.
Expectate is verb edit expectate second person singular versio imperative of expect. These are no words.
No,
these are not words.
Edwin, you're making nonsense. This is nonsense.
Goodbye.
It's nonsense.
Well, it's from Wiktionary.com.
Wiktionary.org. O-R-G. So, cool
my
story.
next expectate was that there was going to be some camp. I mean, come on, sentient trucks.
We love camp.
Sextient
trucks? Were you expecting some car sex?
I mean, man, that would have been a good expectation. Cool technology kills. I knew technology killed people. I expected it to be cool.
Yep.
And then I also thought this movie would be way too long. I saw that it was only an hour 37, and I said, that's probably too long. Or at least it's going to feel too long.
Honestly, though, it's a premise that like can't go many places, right? It's like, cool, technology attacks, and then what happens? Unless you watch like The Mitchells versus the Machines, and that's great.
I haven't seen that movie.
Great movie.
Cool. This movie starts
in space.
in space.
Starts in space. And there's a title card that has so much information.
Do you have it?
Weirdly... Why would I have it? That's so stupid of you. Why would I
Because I saw
ever
you
read
Google it.
Yeah. So it says, on June 19th, 1987 at 9:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What was that?
Will you give me a better voice?
Yeah. On June 19th, 1987, at 9:47 a.m. EST, the Earth passed into the extraordinarily diffuse tail of Rhea M, a rogue comet. According to astronomical calculations, the planet would remain... Can't do it with you. Keep going. Don't look at me. Kev, who... you and your background sounds... The planet would remain.
I have to keep doing the sound.
Do you want to finish and I'll do the sound?
Yeah, actually, that'd be funny.
So start right here.
I don't think I've ever laughed this hard.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. The planet would remain in the tail.
The planet would remain in the tail of the comet for the next 8 days, 5 hours, 29 minutes, and 23 seconds. Ooh. I didn't intend to read that whole thing, but it was so funny to me. But yeah, so weirdly specific down to the hours, minutes, and seconds that basically the gist is there's a weird green aura around the Earth because they're in the tail of this comet for the next 8 days.
Yeah, Earth green.
Yeah, so there's a green aura. Cool, awesome. Because of some comet, awesome. That is all we get. Suddenly it's a sci-fi movie.
I will tell you, fair listener, that you probably didn't parse anything that title sequence said.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Mostly because we were being little goofers. But also, I read that 3 times. Well, did you
pause it? Yeah.
I paused to read it, and I still don't understand it.
It's still nothing.
It is nonsense.
It's nonsense.
It is Coke-fueled nonsense.
Coke-fueled nonsense, 100%. So then we come down onto Earth level, right? We're in the big city. You know, it's the hustle and bustle. The city's alive and moving. We come to the First Bank of Wilmington, and on the electronic message board right above the doorway just says, fuck you.
It was like a
2
bank.
separate words.
It was a bank. And
people are walking in and out of it. They're all shocked at the sign. It just says, fuck you.
We've already said that word too much in this episode. Now we have to rate this episode AF. And then there's a guy at the ATM. And who's that guy at the ATM?
Oh, it happens to be up and coming actor, King of the Stevens. Kevin Sting.
Kevin Sting.
Yep. Definitely not Stephen King, the very first actor you actually see in this movie.
Yep.
And the ATM is just saying, you're an asshole.
You are
all
an asshole.
over the screen. He's like, honey, this ATM called me an asshole.
Why are they doing this, honey?
This is just so funny to me. I'm like, is this how the tech uprising is going to start when the robots take over? It's just going to like mock us and make fun of us in such kind of funny ways.
I kind of hope it does.
Yeah.
Because I'd probably talk back. Like, excuse me, I put my money in you.
I know you are, but what I know you are, but what am I?
Your mama.
This movie's so outlandish, like right out the gate. So yeah, like no build up, no slow burn whatsoever. Suddenly, tech machinery has taken over, and it is uprising against us. Right?
We talk about looking at the timestamps a lot during the movies. Mm-hmm. This was like literally 2 minutes into the movie, including everything.
Just right into the action of it. And that's fine. I'm okay with that.
No, yeah, it was great.
Because it's just funny, just technology just doing what it wants. And like, man, could it inconvenience our days. The first like real scene we get with it is of this drawbridge, right? And there's like guys in the control room who are like playing poker with each other or something like that. And then the controls start to move, and then the bridge starts to, without warning any of the cars or anything, starts to lift right in the middle of it.
Yeah, it pulled the Titanic. It's
kind of a crazy scene, actually. Like, I was enjoying it way too much.
It was crazy, but for, like, weird reasons.
Right, they're just like, there's a guy on his motorcycle who slid down one side and, like, off into the water. And it sounded like he said, wee, as he went down.
The subtitle said, but he was definitely going, wee.
Yeah. And the crashes were so intense, and a lot of them, too. It's like crash after crash after crash.
And it kind of, I'm glad it stayed consistent throughout the movie, I guess, but the physics in this movie made no sense.
They were nuts to me. But yeah, we find out, if we didn't already know this already, there was a title screen, a title card in the opening credits where it had the logo for AC/DC. Everybody just got their names. They had the AC/DC logo in there. And I just had to say, Thank you, AC/DC, for making this scene way more intense than it could have been.
But also way more rocky than it could have been.
Really, though, yeah.
There was nothing horror about this film.
No, yeah, that's
well,
the thing.
Not just this film, but this scene.
About this music, too, you know? Like, I was like, AC/DC, interesting choice. Would not pick them for a horror movie, you know? But in this sequence of all these cars toppling on top of each other, there's one truck that's just got like 90 watermelons on it. And they all smash in ways where like, oh no, that was someone's head. Oh no, it's just a watermelon. It's okay. But there are so many of them.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
I have a theory. Okay,
give me your theory.
You know, old like vaudeville.
Yeah.
Right, with like the.
Sounds kind of like Star Wars. It sounds like you're doing that bit where they're battling.
Wait, what song was it? That's not what I was doing. But thank you. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, my theory. So
Star Wars got a star.
I think they were on the set, right? They're like, we need more things to do. We need to destroy more things.
Give me pictures of Spider-Man.
Give me things to smash with a hammer. And so at the scene at the place next door, they were doing a live action Looney Tunes, which happened all the time.
Okay, you know you love those like mixture like CGI live action stuff.
Yeah, maybe. And then like the crowd was like so excited, and they were so cheering on this guy who brought out a big mallet and smashed a watermelon.
Because
for some reason in the 20s, that was funny.
People love that shit. It was
so funny.
Yeah, people go nuts for smashing watermelons.
I enjoy smashing watermelons.
Listen, I'll sit there on YouTube and watch a video of a dude putting 100 rubber bands on a watermelon and watching it crush.
100?
Yeah, 100.
100
of them.
So like 50,000?
No, 100.
100.
Are you not hearing me? 100?
50.
Is this thing on? Hello?
Thank you for not actually tapping it.
Yeah, that would have been just like audio.
Can I continue my theory?
Yeah, sure.
Thank
I guess.
you.
I just want to say I would watch watermelons get smashed.
Okay. Are you from the 20s? Oh, maybe. All right. Anyway,
my mustache.
So they're sitting there. They're smashing watermelons. The crowd's like, hold on. It's not 1920 anymore.
You're right. And then the guy next door was like, what would be good is if we smashed pumpkins.
Yeah, he's like...
He's like, that's good. It's almost there.
It's almost pumpkins. We're almost right there. And then they see Stephen King. And they're like, hey, got any use for like 50,000 watermelons?
Yeah, because now pumpkins are the next big thing. All these watermelons are old and out.
We're bringing in all the watermelons.
X-ray. Watermelons are yesterday's news. It's all about smashing pumpkins.
Oh my gosh, the band.
Yes.
Oh, that's the joke.
Is that what you... You laughed at it.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
Jesus.
No, listen.
Yes, like the band. Good Lord.
Wait, but Smashing Pumpkins wasn't alive yet?
Yeah, we're taking it back. It's going through the ages.
No, but it was really funny because I was going to continue and be like, after pumpkins are out, bring in the zucchini. It's a different kind of squash, but they're more...
Let's start a band called Smashing Zucchinis now.
Or... Small dicing zucchinis.
Small dicing zucchinis.
No,
You've been watching too much culinary YouTube again, haven't you?
I don't do that. I just small dice things.
So there are so many watermelons here. It's what your math questions in school warned you about. If Susie has 90 watermelons in the drawbridge that she's on,
that was the funniest thing you have ever said. That was arguably the most hilarious thing you have ever said. We're just sitting there watching the craziest things unfold. Like, cars are flipping over themselves. Like, this guy's balanced between the two parts of the bridge and he falls down into the water. And Isaac's just like, this is what those math problems are all about.
Yeah. You sit there and wonder, like, when am I ever going to have to worry about Susie and her 90 watermelons? Well, here it is. It could happen when the tech uprising comes. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you, math class. Thank you, Mr. whatever your name was.
Math class, you weren't useless after all. So we cut through a couple different sequences of just tech taking over, and they're fairly interesting. We find the Green Goblin truck immediately. It's the next scene. And the movie was definitely made after they found this truck, right?
100%.
There's no way someone came up with this crazy design to put the Green Goblin from Marvel Comics, put his face in a big mascot manner on the front of a semi-truck. It is nuts to me.
What if that was actually Green Goblin? What if he was a giant in real life? Because Green Goblin was
So you're telling me they decapitated him, put his head on the front of a truck?
Yeah, that's all the Batman comics are censored because they don't show the scene where he gets decapitated by Batman.
You're trying to tell me you think the Green Goblin is from Batman right now? Derek, we need to go to school.
Wait, can I cut that out?
Give me your geek card, your nerd card. You don't deserve it anymore.
We talked about Mark Hamill.
You're in a completely different, universe. That's DC versus Marvel.
No, because you talked about Mark Hamill.
You talked about Mark Hamill. I was not a part of
And
that.
he plays the Joker, which looks like the Green Goblin in this movie.
Oh my gosh.
I thought, okay, Isaac, I got a secret to tell
What's
you.
your secrets?
The Green Goblin guy,
Uh-huh.
I thought it was actually just a Green the Joker from the animated series this whole time.
He is his own character.
All right, well, I'm going to let myself
Now,
out.
I'm going to show you...
It has been great being a part of this podcast.
I'm going
like
to show you a Rorschach test right now, and I need you to tell me what you see
Okay,
when you look at this image,
Who am I looking
okay?
at? You searched Green Goblin.
No, look, okay. What
Mark
do you see?
Hamill.
No, again. Who is this?
Mark Hamill.
No, again.
Willem Dafoe.
I'll take it. It's good. It's good enough. So the Green Goblin mobile shows up to this gas station. It's the Dixie Boy is what they call it. And this is the gas station that most of the movie takes place at, right? But at this point, I was unsure which characters I was supposed to care about because it was it was kind of giving us like the what was that terrible movie we just watched?
I don't think
Piranha
we
2.
watched.
Piranha
Oh,
2.
yes.
It was giving us the Piranha 2 treatment where it was like showing us 90 characters right out the gate. So I'm like, I don't know who to care about here, right?
No, yeah.
We do meet a very interesting character who's in like the arcade of this gas station because for some reason this gas station has an arcade.
Yeah.
And I think he loses to it or something and he just says, "Yo, mama."
It starts like freaking out at him.
What an exclamation. Like, we just need to start
Yo,
saying
mama.
that to a machine, not
Yo,
even
mama.
to a person. Like, what? Because it makes sense for that to, like, from one person to another, right? But to
Does
a
it?
machine, it's just funny to me.
Does it?
So then there's another bit where one of the gas station attendants is trying to fuel up the Goblin truck, and it's not working. He points the nozzle directly at his face and, like, pokes his finger around in
stupid.
it, and then, boo, he gets hit with a huge burst of, like, it doesn't even look like gasoline. It's like this black liquid. It's so strange to me. Very weird to me. And then, wow, I've never seen more nudie pics on the back
was
wall
this
of
like
something,
this?
right? Nuts. This gas station is gross. The back room has, like, an entire, like, wallpaper made of, like, pictures from, like, nude magazines.
And I won't get graphic about it, but these were not just like your average girls on the beach kind of pictures. These were very pornographic.
Graphic content, honestly. I was a little surprised.
It was shocking. But that was the end of the nudity in the movie.
Yeah, it was just that, which is kind of funny. So I'm like, I'll take that. I'll take it in picture
You know what?
format.
It's fine. It was barely there.
As
it wasn't
graphic as it
gratuitous.
needs to be.
Well, it was extremely gratuitous, but it wasn't like the traditional gratuity.
So we see Emilio Estevez's character in this movie. He's like a chef in the kitchen of this gas
Don't
station.
call him a chef.
There's a lot going on in this gas station.
Don't degrade
There's
chefs.
arcades and whole kitchens and
Well, it's a truck stop for
I guess
truckers.
that's true. You've ever been? Those truck stops have everything in them. I take it back. There's so much going on at truck stops.
I've never been.
There's a lot going on.
Should I go?
You should go. You would go?
Should I
Let's go to
stay
truck
or
stop.
should I go?
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll be right back.
So, Emilio is on parole, we find out. I'm not sure how that's going to come into play. I think it's just to tell us that he's a bad boy with a troubled past.
Such a
but
bad
his
boy.
boss is such a dick.
hate
He
him.
basically convinces them because he's on parole, is like, you're going to work an extra hour and not get paid for it because you're on my dime. If I say
Nah, you're
one
on
word,
my dime.
You're,
You gotta do his
sorry,
voice
he's
right.
got the cigar in his mouth always. How many cigars does he go through in this one movie?
14?
Like something like that. I watched this man develop lung cancer through this entire
But
movie.
our friend Spencer pointed out that, like, no time does he ever clip off the end of the cigar
So it's
to
never
make
gonna
it
burn,
work.
yeah.
So, like, all the time it's just kind of smoldered on the end and not actually working as a cigar. It's pretty
but
great.
he keeps smoking them.
But he keeps doing
But
it.
yeah, so I wrote, he's just an asshole, and I really hope he dies in a satisfying way at some point. And then we see another shot from the kitchen. There's a turkey cutter, and what always happens with turkey cutters, they try to cut
They cut
someone's arm
turkey
off.
with it,
No,
and that's it.
No,
It's very
God,
wholesome and
the
family
arm,
friendly.
The arm, Derek, cut the arm.
No, really, though. I don't understand this trope, and I think it's kind of offensive to turkey cutters.
Specifically the arm, though. It's not always like
Yeah.
other body parts. Like this one will go through bone.
Yeah, it's
Strange to
stupid.
me. But guess what? I literally wrote that note, and then almost immediately, the turkey cutter lunges for this girl's arm and cuts her fairly well. Then lands on the floor, starts cutting at like her ankle too.
It was
And
crazy.
They're just sitting there screaming at it, and there's like 5 guys around her who could help. They don't pull her away from the
No.
turkey cutter. They just sit there and look at it.
And then
until
Emilio-
eventually Emilio takes a hammer to it and just smashes it to bits.
Hey, do you think that's why you don't really see turkey cutters anymore that aren't like that gross, like putrid yellow color from like the 70s?
That makes sense, yeah.
Because
People-
they keep putting them into movies.
And they keep cutting people's arms off, so people are like, that's dangerous. I don't want that in my house.
I don't want that in my house. I don't want to cut my turkey with that.
I'm going to cut my knife by hand, like a real
You're going
man.
to cut your knife by hand
I'm
with
going
a
to
real
cut
man?
my knife by hand like a real man.
I'm gonna cut my hand by knife. Like a real man.
This is my knife. This is perfect for all your knife cutting needs. Ting, and that's the sound of someone's teeth glinting in like those old commercials. Ding.
But like they're actually just, oh, you were holding up your hand.
Yeah, see?
So no one out there saw it. I saw it.
Yeah, I'm holding up my knife.
It's my knife.
The caption, knife. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, knife one. That was good.
That was okay. Yeah, all right. So now we're at a ballpark, and I was like, okay, clearly we must be safe, right? There's no, it's just not a phone in sight, just good people living in the moment, just a bunch of kids playing ball. Time. So then one of the dads walks over to a soda machine. And did Emily see this in the trailer or something? Because she was like almost chanting, "It's gonna hit him in the dick. It's gonna hit him in the dick."
I think she was just excited.
She just knew. Because guess what? He's standing in front of this old-looking soda machine, and then wham, right to the crotch.
You got to do the sound right.
Wait, you do it. Oh, my crotch. Oh, my chest. Oh, my head. And they just keep coming. And why don't these people get away from the danger ever? They didn't get away from the turkey cutter. They're not running away from the soda machine because there's a crowd of kids behind him. Because at first it looked like they were just making fun of him because he was struggling to get the machine to work. He starts kicking it, and then they just start shooting out tons of soda cans at him. And then it just starts hitting the kids. Yeah. 2 kids get knocked out by this.
And die.
Yeah. And then you see the guy who got hit with it originally. He's got this nasty, like...
It was brutal.
It's not a gash. It's not a dent. Somewhere in between. But like he's got this like bloodied welt in his forehead. A gash. He's basically dead. He's bleeding out on the ground. Yep. And there's a kid who's smart enough to put on like his like, what is it? Who stands behind the person who's hitting the ball with the bat?
Ball
you can
guy.
Really tell I play baseball.
He's the guy ball.
He's the catcher guy. He's got that mask. I don't know. He's got that mask that protects his face, right? So he puts that on, almost immediately gets hit with a can.
We just lost half of our viewership.
He's safe. Yeah, I'm sorry for all you sports-loving people.
I actually know a lot about sports. I'm just trying to entertain the masses.
Tell me one thing about sports.
Basketball.
All right, you got basketball. So he goes to check on the guy. He's done for. He's like, I'm going to get out of here. As he's running away or trying to ride away on his bike, in a crazy fashion, a steamroller comes through the main like scoreboard.
Why did this happen?
It was so jarring. It was so intense, but I kind of loved it.
It was great.
I was cackling. It was such a good time.
We all were, yeah. We were having
such a good time. And then it runs over a kid.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I don't really like seeing kids die. But you gotta commend them for going.
They definitely had like a
through.
very cheesy like dummy there for the kid because it definitely runs over it. You see that happen.
It was shocking.
I can't tell how I feel about AC/DC doing the music at this point.
I hated it
because it's like they have one mode and it is like 100% high intensity, high octane kind of mood, right? Yeah. Which is great for a movie titled Maximum Overdrive, I guess, but not good for a horror movie.
So do yourself a favor, dear listener. Isaac, I don't want you to do this.
I won't do it. I'll never listen to you.
Go to AC/DC on wherever you get your podcasts and just hit shuffle. That was the soundtrack to this movie.
Basically. And it's just crazy to me because it's like horror movies also have to have those like slower, more tender moments, right? Or like
something,
or like moments that build tension. You cannot build tension with an AC/DC song. It is at the tensest it can be the whole time.
Yeah. Anytime there was a kill, you seriously just got that riff over the.
It's just someone doing some licks on a guitar. You know, it's so.
It wasn't. Yeah, I wish it was a lick or something. It was literally just like a slide.
Yeah,
it was just.
Yeah. So this is where we meet this little boy who is on this journey. And just experiencing so much terrible stuff.
This was my favorite scene in the movie.
I love it. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We will get there.
I want to be there.
We will get there.
Can I be there?
You can go. I'll meet you there. So we meet some drifter who got in this dude's car who's a Bible salesman.
Yeah, he was
and
gross.
It's kind of a pervert. Like he's trying to talk to her and he's like kind of got his arm like all over her leg.
He keeps rubbing her leg.
It's gross.
Thank you for
not
literally
actually tells him to stop. No, I'm not going to touch you. That's disgusting. Yeah. So I really hope the Green Goblin gets him. And the eyes light up on the Green Goblin. It's such a great effect. I really love him.
Oh, yeah. The Green Goblin was cool.
But yeah, there's a scene where the Green Goblin is driving straight towards him, and then I think Emilio saves him. I'm like, why would you save him? Immediately, once they meet, he's still a weird ass. Oh, she saves him. That's right. He was being a pervert to her, and she's still like, I'm going to save him because she's a nice guy, I guess.
She's pretty cool.
And it's funny because all the people in the truck stop are like, how could that truck have moved? You know, you, the driver, are in here. He's like, I don't know, but whoever did it must have been some hot wire champion. And he holds up the keys to his car.
Whoever did it must have been a hot wire champion.
Hot wire champion. I guess supposed to be champion.
You never heard that? You never heard champion?
It's so stupid. But yeah, then we see the trucks are taking over, trying to run over people, right? Then we come over to a couple that was just married, you can tell, because their car is emblazoned with all of that stuff, right?
Hey, my brain's still in one place. Can you imagine if Queen spoke like that? We are the champion. My friend.
And we'll keep on fighting
till the end. We are the champion.
So there's a married couple. Their names are Kurt and Connie. Okay. And I feel like they ain't gonna make it too far, honestly. I feel like they're bait for more technology to be destroyed, right? This was the first of a couple moments where we're like, okay, wait, we didn't see what happened here. What is this destruction that's happening? Because suddenly Connie just starts screaming, and she sees a dude's head who's kind of like smashed into a curb. You can't really see what happened to him. And then Tomater shows up.
Tomater?
From around the corner, like some big reveal. This like
Cars.
Rusty pickup truck. Yeah, from Cars. If you're not familiar with the movie Cars.
Yeah, he's got the teeth.
So I'm like, oh, cool, this truck is going to get them. And these people are so dumb. They just stand right in the path of the truck. They don't try to veer to the side. They just stand right there. But, you know, the truck runs at Kurt. He runs at Kurt. He misses it. And then Kurt's like, oh, everything's okay, babe. Don't even worry. And then the car starts to rev up again. This time, Connie gets in the car. She's like, we need to get the hell out of here.
And then she kills it.
She peels out of there.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
She kills it.
We get some funny like POV shots from the car's perspective. Mm-hmm. It's so strange. It's like monster POV, but a car. It's a monster truck.
It's a monster
truck. There it is. Again,
Whoa.
AC/DC is exciting, not scary. I don't feel scared about any of this stuff, right? It's really funny. We just wrote, imagine like, we were just talking about like the potential for like what kind of like different kills you could do with different bits of machinery and tech and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It makes you wonder how many ideas were scrapped just for time, right?
It's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, they use a lot of them in this movie.
I was going to say, in a scene later, it seems like we get just the gist of like how many bits could be used with technology, right?
But I feel like there could have been even more.
But yeah, we did right. This was made a year before Stephen King's intervention, which explains a lot about it, right?
Yeah.
So there's just some pacing issues going on in this movie, right? It's like high intensity craziness to like some very dull, drab scenes that take way too long. And it's really funny the way some of like the machinery, the technology works. It does not work like this, nor would it work like this in the 80s. Like there's shots where like the side mirrors of a car turn to look at something. I'm like, the technology is not there to move that automatically, right?
And I feel like that was something that never got, I mean, spoilers, nothing ever gets resolved in this movie. But like, I feel like that's something that I never really fully grasped. Like, was this like an entity that was taking over the engine, or was it like controlling the electronics of the vehicle?
I read one dumb piece of trivia that does not count as trivia because really it's a theory. There's a part later on where one of the bits of machinery growls for a second.
I remember that.
And someone said, so this implies that there are invisible aliens piloting things. I'm like, what? Does that? I don't know.
Because I feel like the invisible aliens could do plenty without the use of technology.
Exactly, yeah. So that definitely is not what's happening. Yeah. But I guess none of it makes sense. It's a green aura in the sky because they're in a tail of a comet that's making technology come to life. Like, we can't make sense of any of this.
Still didn't get that.
Yeah, no, it's nothing. So then we get
my favorite scene!
Yeah, Derek's favorite scene. We're finally here.
Yay!
So there's a great shot of the kid on his bike that ran from the ballpark, right? Yeah. He's riding down the middle of the road, and framing the shot on either side of him, there are sprinklers that start to fly up as he is passing them. There's like 3 sets of sprinklers that do this, I guess. And then we see several bits where like things were already killed and we didn't get to see it happen, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at me like you have something to say.
Oh, kind of a little bit. No, I just like... we always do letterbox reviews for all of our movies. Mm-hmm. My letterbox review for this movie was, you bet your ass I'm going to be riding my bike down the street later with synchronized sprinklers.
Yes, it was incredible. I loved it very much.
So great.
So then we get these shots of like the suburban neighborhood where we see a man in the background kind of blurred out with a chainsaw through his neck.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I was like, so we don't get a chainsaw kill? I feel robbed of this. Absolutely. And there's just so much chaos that we don't get to see. There's like a lady dangling out of her like second story window with like this hairdryer cord around her neck, and then like there's a bit where there were just a lot of different kills, and I'm like, we didn't get to see any of this. But then there was a dog.
I hated that so much. It made me so mad. And it didn't give me a chance to close my eyes.
Yeah, there was a dog with like a toy car in its mouth, and it like choked it. It just sucked. It was kind of sad. Not all of the kills were incredibly obvious, though. It's just like a thing of technology next to a person that's dead. I'm like, okay, how did that kill them, though? I'm not really sure.
It didn't make sense.
At this point, where can this movie go? All you're showing me is that technology kills.
So it was a half hour in at this point.
Yeah, we're like, I don't understand where we're supposed to be going. We don't have any plot so
far. We just have a handful of characters doing nothing.
Handful of characters and a handful of bits of technology that can kill. And then it's very inconsistent what can and cannot kill. And that comes up a bit later, but it's like, at the beginning of the movie, everything can kill. Turkey cutters, all the way to lawnmowers and chainsaws and hair dryers, trucks, all of this, right? Later on, they kind of throw all that out the window and stick to just trucks, but we'll get to that point. So I mentioned a lawnmower, right? I was pretty sad. I was like, oh man, there's this bloodied up lawnmower. That would have been a really great kill.
We were all riffing on this too.
And then it starts to chase him.
It does. But I really wanted like a full army of lawnmowers just like chasing him down the street. Right?
But it's just one lawnmower that chases the kid out of the neighborhood. And it's over super quick. I literally
so fast.
Lawnmower chase scene. Hell yeah. And then it's over. It's quickly done.
It's gone.
And we're back to the boss from the truck stop who's just being a total dick. I just hate him so much. I don't even know why I wrote that. I hate him. Every scene he's in, he's such a dick and I hate him so much.
Yeah, he's gross.
So there's a bit where the guy who got sprayed with gasoline in his face, he's like, I gotta go find my son. Deke is his name. D-E-K-E. Deke.
What's wrong with that name?
It's just weird. It's like your name, but worse.
Well, my name's Derek.
Deke. Deke. Can I start calling you Deke?
Deke is a fine name.
We don't have nicknames for Derek, do we? Just Deke.
Oh, let's not. But okay, no, it's a fine name though.
Deke.
Okay. Anyway,
now you like Deke?
No. Oh. Wait. Okay, that was actually kind of funny.
So
Isaac's a comedian. Did you guys know this?
He's like, I gotta go out and find my son. I don't care about what's happening. And then he gets hit by, I think just one of the trucks, not like a special one. He gets hit by one of the trucks. His head pops on the front of this thing.
It was shocking how much blood came out of that.
And then after he gets run over by the truck, his body's kind of rolling around on the ground. I'm like,
he's cool.
No. This man is dead at this point. No way in hell. I mean, it did kill him, but like that was just so crazy to me. And then it crashes into the car of the Bible salesman, and then it crashes and dumps trash onto it. Just like to add insult to injury on his new car that he was talking about earlier. It was just so funny to me. I thought it was really funny.
So it was at this moment that the other cars that were there we're noticing are just not doing anything.
Yeah, like the other sedans specifically.
Yeah, the trucks, the semi-trucks, they're crazy.
Yeah.
They're going nuts.
They're at a truck stop, right? And there are a bunch of them that have been like depoted. They're like, they shouldn't be able to run, but they're running somehow.
So does that imply that the aliens, I'm assuming it's aliens.
The invisible aliens.
Are truckers?
I guess so.
And they just like, we're bringing a bunch of cargo to
There's
Earth?
some trucker planet. Like, trucks had to come from somewhere, right? Yeah. We didn't create this.
No, we didn't create truckers.
It came from the stars,
Derek. From the planets. They're out there.
The planet truck stop.
Deep in the sky lie the trucker planet.
So every single time someone tries to run away from a car, they run in a straight line, and I don't understand why they do that.
No,
every time they run, I'm like, why would that's so stupid to me?
Yeah.
Run to the side, you idiots. It's worth mentioning that the boss, the shitty boss we keep mentioning, his name is Bubba, and he keeps calling everybody else Bubba. He's like, oh, where do you think you're going, Bubba? I'm like, why? You're calling everybody your name.
He's a Smeagol.
That's like you saying, like, oh, where are you going, Derek?
No, that's you.
Smeagol. He's a Smeagol.
Right. I don't want to compare someone cool to
So
someone
the
terrible.
Bible salesman runs, again, in a straight line from one of the cars and gets a little love tap from one of these trucks into, like, this little creek.
It was the Goblin Boy. It was Goblin Boy truck.
Goblin. Oh, was it the Green Goblin?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he gets hit by that and just like knocked, not even like hit so hard, knocked into like a little creek, and everyone just assumes he's dead. And I guess we have to believe that too.
I wanted him to be.
Wanted him to be dead because he was a gross pervert. And so yeah, I was fine with this death. That's fine by me. And then all the cars start honking like they're talking or they're laughing.
I thought they were laughing and I kind of liked it.
I liked it a lot. And then they started driving in this like intimidating circle of trucks around the truck stop so they can't get out. It's kind of nuts. And AC/DC's back. You know what that means. High intensity.
Back in trucks.
And so I think it's Kurt and Connie are driving down the highway trying to drive away from this one truck.
Yeah.
It's great. I think the POV shots from the truck are kind of funny, but like it's a neat concept, but this is just like a normal car chase scene.
Yeah.
It's just you can't see a driver in the other car, and that's really all it is. But then they're able to swerve off the road, and the car flies off, and it's on fire before it even hits anything. It's already flying off, and it is on fire, and then it shoots back to Kurt and Connie, who are safe, then back to the truck, and it just explodes.
But it's funny because, so it was on fire, it's flying through the air, it's on the grass, and then it's not really on fire anymore, and then an explosion happens right behind it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So all roads lead to this one truck stop, to the Dixie Boy truck stop for some reason. Because then Kurt and Connie make it there, right? And they're like, hey, you see that? See this circle of trucks? There's a little gap right here. If I drive real quick, we can make it in there. And why would they want to go into this circle of death, basically? I don't understand why.
I don't know either.
They don't make it. Because he did not give them
kind of make it.
No, like barely. So it like clips the back of their car and their car flips over in a passion that should have killed them. But they're fine. They're like not even like bloodied up at all.
No, they're
fine.
They're completely fine. She just screams the entire time.
She's just angry.
The worst version of a scream queen. I've ever heard.
And so then, as they're all running back to the truck stop, one of the trucks is pursuing them. Bubba, the boss, walks out with a fucking rocket launcher.
Yeah, dude.
Out of nowhere, and he fires it like from the hip too.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, that doesn't seem right, but I guess I'll take your word. He just shoots it straight at them. There's like 4 of them running for it, so they all have to duck down so that they don't get shot by a rocket launcher. And then it works. It kills one of them, and it's kind of crazy. He takes out a couple trucks, actually. It's pretty wild to me. Are they gonna have a truck funeral? Makes you wonder, honestly.
Yeah. I want to hear what a truck eulogy sounds like.
So then we get one of what ends up being a couple sequences between the drifter girl, who the Bible salesman was being a pervert to, and Emilio Estevez's character. They're like really forcing this romance between them onto us solely because they are 2 people who were of a similar age and they're lonely, basically, is all I get. But I don't even remember how she phrases this, but she's like, yeah, it's probably blah, blah that's making these all technology go into maximum overdrive. Like, she just name drops it. She is a terrible actress.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So bad.
She is awful. And I really hate this romance between these 2 nobodies right now. I don't understand why I'm supposed to care about them.
And it came out of nowhere, too. Emilio Estevez is just... This is bad. Yeah. I don't understand how his career took off after this.
The writing for it is garbage. It feels like the worst of the worst, like 80s writing.
And he's just like that gruff guy who doesn't really do anything. He's like, I've been a bad boy.
Exactly, right? He's got this weird troubled past where he was in a bad run with the cops, and that's why he's on parole. And like, it's just, I'm so stupid.
I'm so bad.
I hate it. Like these characters were dumb to me. But then there's an awesome bit where like the kid on the bike again is running away, and he sees a plane flying, and Ride of the Valkyries is playing.
Yeah.
That's a great bit. I love that. It wasn't an AC/DC song. I thought it was great. And then that went nowhere.
Oh, wait, yeah.
We never got another moment with a plane until way later.
Yeah, wait, yeah. I was just so excited about it.
They set it up, and then I guess we can say later on, you see, after a bunch of other sequence of events, you see the plane just crashed into a bus. And that's all that happens with that. It's so funny to me. There are a couple moments where it seems like, do these technology things fight? Because there's a couple moments where like semi-trucks run over the sedans and like this airplane crashes into a bus. Like, I guess it makes sense there. Why would we assume that all technology would be friends, right? I'm sure technology racism exists.
Why can't all technology be friends?
All technology should get along.
I really want all technology
There's
to be
a
friends.
scene in the bathroom between Emilio Estevez and one of the other dudes that is so gross for no reason. It just says flatulence in the subtitles.
Yeah.
And like, basically, all you need to know is that Emilio Estevez asks this dude, hey, does he have a lot of firepower? The boss, does Bubba have a lot? He's like, yeah, it's all in the basement. Cool, thanks. We didn't have to have a bunch of poop sounds over this.
It was so dumb.
It was nasty.
It was gross.
I hated it. And then suddenly, they're in the basement.
Yep.
And like, cool, there's a lot of guns down here.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know. And they talk a little bit about his like troubled past with all like it's so stupid. I hate it so much. Anyway, so the kid is my favorite. He's incredible.
He's the best character in the movie.
Yeah, and he just cannot believe the day he's having. He's the best actor in the whole movie. And everything he comes upon, he's like, if this day couldn't get any worse.
And I looked him up. I should keep his name up here, but he actually does a bunch of voice acting now. That's
really?
that's what he does. He was
I'm happy he's like going places because he was actually sincerely the best actor in this movie.
He's done a bunch of stuff for what was it, Red Dead Redemption.
Really?
And,
That's really neat.
Holter Graham is his name.
Holter
Graham is his name. Yeah, he was in the Old Republic. He was in Red Dead Redemption
Grand Theft
1
Auto
and
5?
2. Grand Theft Auto 5.
That's incredible.
So, like, he isn't, like, super big, but he's still making work for himself.
Yeah, exactly. So the kid is having a day. He's trying to sneak in through like this little sewer grates that will lead him to the gas station to the truck stop. So he's trying to do that. Meanwhile, the two main love interest characters, I guess, just had sex all of a sudden.
Yep.
Don't know where, don't know why.
The guns were watching.
So now it's nighttime, and there's like this green effect. It's kind of like this aurora borealis thing going on in the sky.
At this time of day?
In this hemisphere.
Located entirely in this truck park?
Located entirely within this truck stop. It's kind of a wild effect, but I do like the way it looks.
Yeah, me too. I like it too. It's fun. Well,
then,
also green is like your vibe.
There's this scene where this lady who works at the truck stop, she's like with like a waitress at the place, starts going batshit insane, starts yelling at the trucks, just saying, "You can't! We made you!
We made you!
She's actually insane.
You.
It's so funny to me. And it was at this point that I'm like, okay, hold on. Is it all tech or just trucks? Because now it just seems like the trucks. Everything in the truck stop seems to be working just fine. I don't understand it.
When she was screaming, "We made you," it was very much like the Soylent Green Our People scream. It was that level of intensity and that repetitive over and over for no reason.
So insane. You could it seemed like this is what she auditioned with. Like this is what got her the role.
And so she had to really.
This was her
really
shiny. She really milked this scene. But so then they hear Bible Boy from the creek screaming, even though we thought he was dead, but nobody really checked on him, so of course he's not dead.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
If you don't see a corpse, they're not dead.
So they go to do basically like this rescue mission where they go in through the drain of the showers to try to get through to him. And then they run into the bike boy, who's on his way there. So they end up both in meeting at the body of the dude who is not actually dead. But then they just leave him behind anyway.
Well, yeah, because they get chased down by another truck. One of the trucks finds them.
Yeah, so the truck finds them because the kid starts screaming because the dead body, not actually dead, is like, "You need to pull me, get me out of here." So yeah, then they scream. A truck tries to run them over. Yep. So then they go back into the sewer. They come back. It was a very anticlimactic
moment,
rescue mission. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
And there's just so much time wasted in this movie. They haven't taken proper time to establish good relationships. Nobody's trying to learn the rules of what's going on here with the machinery and how it's taking over. I don't understand it. It's so weird to me.
It's very weird.
But then we find out, so this kid is Deke. He's the boy who the dad was running away for in the very beginning. I'm like, okay. Was that obvious to you before? Because it was not to me. He just seemed like some kid.
I guessed it because it made a big deal about this kid, and then this guy made a big deal about finding his son. Yeah. So I was like, okay, they're probably related.
So then he finds out his dad dead. It sucks. The Bubba, the boss, tells him he's such an asshole about it. Yeah. It's the next day. Things are however they are, right? And then there's like a Caterpillar tractor. That's like the brand name of the tractor. Oh, yeah. And so he's rolling into town with this little army truck that has a machine gun mounted to it. They're just rolling up. And it seems like the Caterpillar is like the mortician, because it's cleaning up the dead bodies of the trucks that were blown up by the rocket launcher, right? Kind of crazy to me. And then again, people are just standing there watching more chaos as the Caterpillar starts driving a truck through the building. I'm like, okay. And that kind of makes sense why the trucks weren't ramming into the building in the first place, because that's like a suicide mission, right? If they did that, they would die. Yeah. So they needed something with a bit more construction capabilities, or I guess destruction capabilities. I guess. It's so weird. I don't understand. But again, Bubba is here and he's going to shoot them, but then Bubba down, because the machine gun army truck shoots through the whole building. Yeah. Gets a couple of them, actually. I'm like, there were a few. If you see a machine gun pointed at this building, take cover.
Lay on the ground.
But there's 6 of them that stay standing and get shot by a big spoiler, right? And so Bubba dies, and it's not as satisfying as I wanted it to be. No, I really wanted him to have a worse death.
And I feel like it would have been better had he been the only one to die there, but multiple people.
Yeah, again, 6 people. And again, the waitress is crazy out of her mind. She comes up, we made you! And guess what? She gets shot up. Big surprise. But Bubba shot the rocket launcher just a second ago and took out maybe one thing. Or I don't even remember what he took out. He didn't take out the machine gun. He shoots the rocket launcher though. No. And then the "we made you" lady takes it, and then tries to fire it again, and it works.
Yeah.
Even though it was just shot, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Definitely one shot.
It is me.
That actually scared me.
Count Trivia.
I genuinely was confused.
I thought I would intervene here to tell you I've got a bit of trivia here for you. It's you're a little early. It's fine. Just give me. Okay, thank you for that. I'll be back.
I get it.
I'll
It's
come
cool.
back later.
Let him in.
So, in a scene where 2 trucks are killed with rockets, the weapon is a LAAW, which stands for Light Anti-Tank Assault Weapon, which is, in reality, a shoulder-fired, one-time use weapon. It cannot be reloaded with another round and fired again.
Oh my god, really?
And, yeah, mind you, this happens like 6 times in the movie.
They use this weapon a lot.
They use this rocket launcher a lot. So, yeah, it's funny to know that what they're using is a single-use thing that can't even be reloaded, let alone...
And can't even be shot the way that they were shooting it.
Yeah, you can't fire it from the
They
hip
were
like
hip
that.
firing it with no
very little recoil.
problem.
Yeah, it was so funny to me. But then the cars start talking to them.
I screamed that this was going to happen.
Shouting at this.
I knew this was going to happen.
Yep,
I was yelling that they were going to do.
Tell them.
I predicted. I was like, I bet you anything they're going to mock her and say we made you in Morse code. And guess what started happening?
Yeah, they start talking in Morse code. And of course, the little boy is like, oh yeah, I was a Boy Scout. I know Morse code for some reason, because there's always somebody.
Yeah.
Which is so funny to me, because imagine in a real world situation, and you're in like this gas station with a bunch of strangers, and nobody knows Morse code. Then what happens?
Yeah.
You die, I guess.
You
right?
die.
So what did the Morse code say?
Oh, I don't remember. It was like a lot. It was like 3 paragraphs
It was a
of
long
Morse
message
code.
that basically said, you need to fuel us, nobody will die. That's basically the
They
gist
were
of it.
enslaving them.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
essentially
So
what
they
it was.
basically they became their servants, and there's this weird montage sequence of them spending an entire day just
my
fueling
goodness.
up hundreds of trucks at this truck stop, right?
And yeah, that's like the only thing they're doing is just fueling them. And then
It's like, where is this going?
I even predicted, I was like, there's going to be a gas truck that comes in. They're going to have to refill the tanks with
so
gas.
then they run out of gas, and then a truck angrily like scoots up to one of the guys and it's like, here, take my gas thing and hook it up, refuel, let's keep this
And then
going
it
for
keeps
the rest of
going.
our lives. And then Emilio Estevez is like kind of losing his mind. Some other dude's
absolutely
he's like,
lost
hey
his
man,
mind.
you've been out here in the heat fueling cars for too long. You need to get out of here. He's like, they just don't understand how it is for a man to get tired. And it's so funny to me. He is losing his
It
mind.
made me so mad. This man has never worked a 12-hour grind in his life.
And exactly.
And it
It's
is
like,
obvious.
dude, all you did was pump gas for hours. You're
Now,
fine.
I believe that back then the profession for fueling cars was a tough one.
yeah.
But it wasn't this.
It's so funny to me. So yeah, then
These people were delusional.
So he goes inside with his like girlfriend or whatever, and he starts rambling about how he calls them the broom.
There's
She's like,
the
what are you
broom.
talking about? He's like, they're interstellar house cleaners. Don't you understand? If you're an alien from another world, you have to make sure the planet is good enough for you. So these cars are here taking over to wipe us out. They're cleaning us out. They're the brooms.
Yep.
Like he's just completely out of his mind at this point.
So it's at this point they decide they need to escape.
Yeah. So what does he do? So what's keeping them there currently is the army car mounted machine gun, right?
Yeah.
So he starts walking loudly, talking about his plan right in front of us. Like, hey, can't you see it's a little man-to-man business? He's like, okay, when I tell you to run, you're gonna run, right? Then he takes a grenade, drops it on the car, then just spins the gun.
Yeah.
And just go, run! And so the gun is just wildly firing in a circle, happens to miss the both of them, and then explodes.
And
it's so
they're free
crazy.
now.
So yeah, so now the cars start running into the building. They go through the shower drain that they used earlier to try to escape. And the trucks are just having a temper tantrum about this entire thing. And these trucks know how to do some damage. There's one where like this one lifts up the bed of itself to like tear down the roof of the gas station. Like it was actually kind of fun and really clever. I kind of enjoyed it a lot. Honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. This whole destruction sequence
And then the
was great.
whole place explodes.
Yep.
Because there's like an oxygen truck that goes through there. I don't really know what they're trying to set up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, oxygen tanks like that will explode,
Yeah.
but not in the way it did it.
So
it was very
the
weird.
whole gas station explodes, and like it's like all of the budget went for this movie went to paying AC/DC and the explosions.
Yep.
It seems like that's where all of the budget went for this. And then it feels like this movie is about to end, but nothing has been resolved.
Nothing has happened.
And like at this point, we're like 10 minutes from the end. I'm like, I still don't feel like there's been a solid plot developed here
Yeah,
whatsoever.
what is going on?
So then they pass by a drive-through, and it starts trying to alert the other technology.
Humans here.
That is not how gas station or how drive-throughs work.
No.
There's a person that talks into a microphone. Yes. That's not how it works. But then the kid gets a cool like one-liner is like, "Take this, asshole, piece of shit.
This is for my dad."
Something like that, right? And he shoots it all up to bits because now they all took guns. Everybody's got a gun now.
Yep.
And so there's a sequence where they start shooting the cars and they just start exploding.
Yeah.
Like there's an ice cream truck that was there earlier that they shoot and then explodes. And like, I really thought the guns against the cars wouldn't work, and it shouldn't, but here we are, and I guess that's fine.
This was like the only amount of like fighting back that we get, and it was very unsatisfying.
Yeah. So then there's a bit where they're about to go onto a boat. They're at this marina, right? They're like, okay, cool, we'll get a boat that doesn't have a motor. We'll be safe from all technology out on the ocean, right?
Yep.
As they're running towards a boat, one dude goes over to a car where a girl, her head was like choked to death in the window of a car. I guess it like rolled up with her head in it, and her hands hanging out. And she's got this huge wedding ring on it, like this the biggest rock you ever did see, right?
Yeah, ever did see.
And so this guy stops to steal her wedding ring because that's important right now, dude. The world's kind of ending. And so then sneaky, the Green Goblin car shows up behind him. He couldn't hear this like full giant semi-truck, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, it runs him over pretty easily. He's dead. And then they shoot it with a missile. Doesn't do the job. They shoot it with another one from this single-use this missile launcher.
No, it's fine. It had 12 shots.
And then it's dead. It explodes. And I was honestly kind of sad how easily this, like, iconic truck is just gone.
Also, at this point, we can say this iconic truck was very lame.
Yeah, I was kind of sad how underutilized. There was a note I wrote earlier where it's like, oh, the Green Goblin is here. Kind of forgot he existed.
Yeah, it was just like,
there's a solid chunk of the movie where they stopped using it.
It was just, I don't think they knew how to use it, and so they just ignored it.
So then, in the most anticlimactic fashion, they blow the truck up, very boringly, I guess, and then they just get on the boat and start sailing away. And then there's another title card at the very end.
I'm going to read the title card, you do the background.
You wrote this?
2 days later, a UFO above the Earth was destroyed by a Soviet weather satellite, conveniently equipped with a Class 4 nuclear missile and a laser cannon. 6 days later, Earth passes out of Comet's tail. The survivors are still survivors.
So, such a stupid ending. So basically, 2 days later, a UFO was destroyed and everything was fine.
Yep.
Thanks for the dumbest ending to this
so dumb.
strange movie. So yeah, that was Maximum Overdrive.
And it was Maximum Over, thank goodness.
It's fine.
That didn't work. Ooh. It was, thank goodness it's Maximum Over.
And now I can drive.
Whoa. Is it called Overdrive because they drive places over a lot of time?
No, it's called Maximum Overdrive because that one lady said it for some reason.
Nah, you're right. They should have just called it Trucks.
So give me some stats about this movie.
This movie had 4 jump scares.
4 jump scares.
1 major jump scare and 3 minor. I don't remember what
I don't know what the distinction is between those.
It's like, so a major jump scare is like one of those like, did I get anybody? Did I get anybody?
You got me a little bit,
if I got you, like, tell me. Because I don't know if I got anybody. And then like a minor one is like,
I guess so.
Did I get anybody?
How many kills? How many kills? Tell me, I want to know.
Take a guess. Did we already talk about this?
We did.
Oh, so it's not a guess. Take a guess, listener.
42.
There were 43 kills in this movie. It was intense.
Yeah, kind of. And I guess that must include all the kills that we didn't see happen, because there was that whole suburb of tons of people.
This includes all of the people that you see a corpse from. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
All right, what were your expectations?
So for me, I said it was going to sit in my top 5. Honestly, yeah, I think so. And as far as all these movies go, it sits up there pretty high for me. I said wild action, yeah, but boring throughout a lot of the scenes in between those high intensity scenes, right? There was a huge imbalance between those two. I said not enough kills. Yes and no, I guess, because there were so many kills, but we didn't get to witness a lot of them, and that made me kind of sad.
Me too.
So yes and no. And then insane plot with no sense but entertaining. Yeah. 10,000% yes. That is the most correct I've ever been with any of my expectations.
Definitely.
For my surprises, I don't know. I wrote a couple where it's just I was surprised how fast it got into the action of it. Absolutely no slow burn, just an immediate fuck you from Tech, and I thought that was so funny.
I liked that a lot too.
The kills were fun, but again, I was disappointed with how much they kept from you. Like, I really would have loved to see that chainsaw kill, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
Me too.
The machines were probably my favorite character in the movie, especially when they started talking in Morse code. I was like, oh god, they can speak. That's so funny to me.
It was very good.
And then the differences in the kills, just like the variance in the murders and the kills were so fun to me. From the steamroller to the soda can to the head to the turkey cutter. There was so much you could do with it, right?
There was a lot.
Which was sad that they ended up just being like, yeah, let's just run people over with trucks halfway through the movie, you know? It's
Yeah.
which, I mean, it is, you mentioned, it's based off of the short story Trucks, right? So, like, I guess it's just sad that they introduced that it was all tech and then didn't keep that up throughout all of it, right?
Yeah, the continuity there was really disappointing.
Yeah, so what about your expectations?
Cool story, and I wrote cool story. What story? Some trucks killed some people.
Yep, absolutely.
So yeah, I enjoyed the story, but there wasn't much of a story.
Yeah.
Some camp, sentient trucks. And well, I really wouldn't call this movie campy, personally. It didn't feel campy to me.
It wanted to be, it could have been, but it just didn't end up.
It was
wasn't there
almost there.
Yeah.
It was just kind of cheesy and corny, but the line delivery wasn't quite bad enough.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like forgettable.
There were some scenes though that were pretty rough.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything, campy worthy.
Uh-huh.
Cool technology kills. Yes, but it's the same as you. Like, I was just sad that I only saw the aftermath.
Exactly.
I wanted to see more of it.
to see it.
Like, I want to see that hairdryer come to life and like beat the crap out of her.
Right.
Too long. Yeah. I mean, for some reason it was too long, even though nothing. It wasn't actually that long, and
it was just
nothing
a
really
pacing
happened.
issue.
Yeah,
We're just like nothing happened, and you're left like curious where the hell it's gonna go next.
Yeah, exactly.
Where could it go?
For real.
Yeah.
My Survises, I loved it.
Yeah.
It was a very fun time. I really enjoyed the creativity of some of the kills.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, I feel like we do have
Yes,
to say, when we say this is a great movie, we're talking, there's a giant scale for like great movies and terrible movies. We're living in a small segment just on the low end of it. So of our small scale that still exists on the bottom of the scale as a whole, this is great in comparison, right?
Like, I should say that this is my highest rated movie for the podcast so far.
Yeah.
On Letterboxd, I'll just use that as an example, which is 3 stars. Like, I've never given anything above like a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the highest, and I don't even really know why that is. It's just the case. So this isn't cinema. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to take it with a grain of sand or salt.
Yep.
And yeah, those are pretty much my surprises. What was your score?
Verdict for me, horrible.
Yeah,
Sorry,
dude.
guys. I mean, like, it may have been a coked up disaster of a movie, but it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, and same, horrible.
Yeah, honestly.
I'd watch it again. It was a good time. It was one I would have enjoyed alone. It's one I enjoyed probably better with friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
yeah, okay,
at this
Count
point-
Trivia, you can come back
At
out.
this point, it's usually where Count Trivia... He's not answering his phone. I think he's upset that I made fun of him earlier for not...
But he did leave those title cards right there.
He did leave... okay, I guess I'll just pick him up off the floor. Dad!
Oh, okay.
Was that they made your jump scare or they made your jump scare?
okay.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, take the cards. I'm done. Okay, so... In the movie trailer, Stephen King said he decided to direct it himself after writing several because he wanted to see Stephen King done right.
Yes.
Quote, if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself, says Stephen King.
I bet he regrets that.
Then the very next bit, it says, when asked why he hasn't directed a movie since Maximum Overdrive, Stephen King responded, just watch Maximum Overdrive. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Way to take a blow and just move on.
Stephen King, being a former cocaine addict, later admitted that he was, quote, coked out of my mind the entire time he was making this picture and often didn't know what he was doing. He remarks that he'd like to try directing again someday, this time sober. So, it's kind of sad. He definitely recognizes it as that.
But it's also, I feel like... for drug addiction and stuff, Stephen King is kind of should be an icon, right? Mm-hmm. He is someone who has taken the blow multiple times, right? He is rehabilitated and he is back on the horse. And that's great. It's awesome.
So props to you for that. AC/DC was selected to make this music by Stephen King himself. There's a fun bit of trivia I read too that he sang in one of their songs to them in its entirety, and that's what made them decide to do it. They're like, this guy's a huge fan. Let's do this for him.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me.
I love that.
So this one's a bit of a long one, so stick with me. So about a year after the movie was released, the Green Goblin truck was taken to Silent Rick's Towing and Salvage in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay.
The jaw, lower teeth, tongue, and tops of the ears were gone, and what was left of it was burnt severely, because I guess they probably really blew it up in that sequence, right?
Yeah, okay.
So tons of it was not, like, it was gone, right? John Allison of Wilmington, North Carolina saw it there and purchased it. He later had to sell it, and Tim Shockey of Piketon, Ohio, purchased it on February 19th, 1987. Tim displayed it in his video store, Uncle Jim's Videoland in Waverly, Ohio, for several years until he sold the business. He moved it back to his backyard for about 20 years. This goblin head has had a life.
All over the place. Mm-hmm. What the heck?
So, backyard for 20 years, then it was moved into his garage, and then he started restoring it in 2011. He spent 2 years, nights and weekends restoring the head. He now travels across the USA and Canada, taking it to horror and comic cons.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's had this whole life, but it survived through restoration and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so now you can catch it at some comic cons and horror conventions.
That's so cool.
In USA and Canada, I guess. That's just really funny to me.
That's awesome.
So the Dixie Boy truck stop that they made for this was constructed 10 miles outside of Wilmington, North Carolina, and it was convincing enough that several truckers tried to stop in. And eventually, the producers had to put up announcements in local papers saying, "Dixie Boy was just a movie set. It's not a truck stop. Please stop coming.
That's hilarious.
We're gonna blow your truck up if you come over here." An accident occurred on July 31st, 1985, during shooting in a suburb in Wilmington, North Carolina. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay.
I can't read it.
What do you think? What sequence in this movie do you think caused an actual injury from the set of this movie? Sprinklers? You're in the right scene.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so where a radio-controlled lawnmower used in the scene went out of control and struck a block of wood used as a camera support, shooting out splinters, which injured the director of photography, Armando Nanuzzi. As a result, he lost his right eye.
Whoa!
Yeah.
No!
So he sued Stephen King on February 18th, 1987 for $18 million in damages.
Jesus!
The suit was settled out of court. But that's crazy to me,
so
right?
Sad.
Yeah, kind of nuts.
Oh my
so yeah,
goodness.
some actual danger came of that. Not in the way you would expect, but man lost his eye, so...
That's sad.
So yeah, so Derek, we're not going to say the movie we have selected for next week. We have a little something cooked up here.
Something. You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to come back. You're going to have to see.
Yeah. But our wonderful, we'll call her our producer now, Emily, good lady wife Emily, has set up a very interesting guest star for the episode, I guess. Do you want to call it?
Yeah, just like a guest. And we will introduce more about that when it happens.
Yes.
But just know we're going to, it's our first guest appearance.
Which is exciting, as exciting for us as it must be for you. We'll figure out how to do this thing, we promise.
Yes, it will be amazing. Someone who's worked on Midsommar and Hereditary.
So some great ones.
Yes.
Clearly, we're not going to talk about those because those are rated too high for our podcast, but... I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you here on the podcast. Let's take a step outside of. Hey, listen. Hey, bud. I'm really sorry.
But I like those movies.
It's gonna be okay. We can still talk about those movies.
He makes
we can talk. We'll start another podcast. We'll talk. Okay, we got to get back to the mic is still hot. Okay, so we got a great opportunity to talk to somebody who has actually worked as a script supervisor for like real horror movies, right? Which is exciting for us, right? So. Join us next week.
Yeah, join us next week to talk about that. It's pretty exciting. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I am now going to give up technology.
Yep.
I'm done.
Yeah, so I'm going to kill this mic before it kills us.
Yep. Oh, it's actually starting to move.
Oh.
I hear my car horn honk. Car horn? I hear my car horn honking.
Gosh.
And it's saying, "We made you." I'm going to go take care of that. I hope you all stay safe and be kooky. Goodbye.